These are the plaintiffs, Joey Girl Outlaw and Jillian Richards. Joey Girl says she dropped off 20 pounds of laundry at the defendant's laundromat, and the irresponsible guy lost all of her clothes. Then she made a stink. The defendant threatened her, and she's not the type that takes too kindly to threats, so she called the cops. Bottom line, the inept clothes cleaner owes them $2,848.42, and that's just what they're suing for today. This is the defendant, Jordan Candler. He says some guy came to pick up the plaintiff's laundry 2 days after she dropped it off, and he left with it. 2 hours later, the plaintiff comes in screaming about her laundry and called the cops. The whole thing's obviously a scam. He found out the previous owner banned the plaintiff from the shop, and he feels this was a setup from the beginning because he's the new owner of the laundromat. He's accused of lousy laundering.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Joey Girl Outlaw.
Hi.
Hi. And Jillian Richards. This is your
Daughter.
daughter. Okay. My gosh, you look like sisters. You are suing the laundromat. You've asked us not to name the name of the laundromat, represented here by Jordan Candler. Correct? You're the owner?
Yes.
Okay. For $2,848.42 in damages, clothing that you say that they lost of yours. Okay, first I have to ask you, is this your given name, Joey Girl Outlaw?
Yes, ma'am.
Really? Like you were a baby and they said, let's call her Joey Girl Out, and then your last name was Outlaw? Like you didn't, it's like a stage name. It's just really cool. Do your friends say stuff about it?
Growing up was the worst.
How about her friends?
Oh, they love it. So.
Yeah, I bet. All right, guys, what happened here?
On the 28th of September 2013, I dropped off 20 pounds of laundry. And on the 29th, when my daughter and her boyfriend went to pick it up, she had to go to the supermarket for me. So he picked it up, he called her, and from there, I guess she...
Go ahead.
So like she said, I had to go to the supermarket, and I gave him the ticket and said, can you go pick up the laundry for me? Which is around the corner. So he calls me and says that basically the lady that's working there, which is not the lady that we gave our laundry to, is another worker. Our laundry's not there. She can't find it. So I go around the corner, ask her what happened. She calls the person that we gave the laundry to, and she says that it should be there. So I call my mom. I tell her what happened. My mom comes down, and the person that's working there calls the person we gave the laundry to again. And she says, she has a whole another story. She's like, oh, somebody took it.
Oh, first it was, it should be there, and then it was, somebody took it. Mm-hmm. Well, how did that happen?
By the time I arrived, I guess Jillian and Ashani, her boyfriend, was there perhaps, I would like to say like 20 minutes before I arrived. So by the time I get there now, the laundry, someone came and picked it up.
Now that's the story.
Now that's the story.
Because they were looking for it before then.
Exactly. Okay. So now the lady that was working there called the owner, which is this gentleman next to me. And
are you a new owner?
I've owned the establishment for almost 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Okay. So when I go in on Monday, they spoke to him that Sunday, which is the 29th. He said for me to come in at 12:30. I left work and I went there early at 12:30 on time. He wasn't there.
You came at like
No. I don't know what sports facility you think you're in, but we don't just shout out when we don't like what we hear.
I apologize.
Good.
Okay, so when I get there, he's not at the laundromat. So the lady from the laundromat gives him a call. All right, so I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call the police to make a report. At this point in time, he's threatening me over the phone. I don't take too kind to threats.
What did he say to you over the phone?
He's over the phone telling me, if you call the police, you're not going to get out of me. Because all over my laundromat, it has signs that says it's at your own risk. I call the police. The police arrived. He still wasn't there. As soon as the police got there, they told me it is a civil matter. However, they had him on the phone when he had said he was going to come in. Now, even the officer was like, he's being a jack. She gave me...
she put that in the official report?
No, she didn't make a report because she said it's a civil matter. However, what she did was write down his license.
So you could sue him.
So that, and she told me to go...
Tell me what's going... Do you know what's going on? I mean, or...
I just want to say one...
Hold on.
I know exactly what's going on. I'm waiting until you tell me that I
just did.
Okay, perfect. Basically, it's true on the 28th. Miss Outlaw came in, dropped off 20 pounds of clothing. So part of what she said next was true, some wasn't.
Can I ask you a question? When they drop it off, is there paperwork back and forth, or?
Yes, there's a ticket. I keep my copy of the ticket. The person that's picking it up is supposed to keep their copy of the ticket.
There's nowhere for them to, there's no like, my clothes is worth X or something, no?
No.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so basically what happened was clothes were dropped off on the 28th. I'm pretty sure it was either 29th or the 30th. Basically, a gentleman came in, said, "My name is Joey." It was an orange bag. It was $19. I don't have my ticket. He knew all the information about the bag.
What's all the information about the bag?
It was $19. It had already been prepaid. He knew it was an orange bag. This gentleman had all the information about the bag.
Wait, is there any more information besides it's orange, it's $19, it's prepaid?
And he knew the name on the ticket. He was representing himself that this was his bag of laundry. He happened
But
to
the name on the ticket was a woman's name.
Joey.
Joey
The
Girl.
name is Joey. No,
Joey Girl.
On the ticket it says Joey, Your Honor.
On the ticket it says Joey. So somebody
Joey.
named Joey. Okay, what proof do you have of what you just said? Who told you this? Because you weren't there, right?
An employee of mine.
Where's that employee to testify to that if that's the defense?
My employee chose not to testify. I was not going to make her testify.
Well, that's fine, but you understand the risk of that, right? Because if your entire defense is hearsay, I need to be able to cross-examine that person and make sure they're not lying.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like I said,
do you have an affidavit from them?
I don't. I'm sorry. Okay. I believe, this whole thing from the beginning is a scam. Basically, the clothing...
Based on what evidence do you think it's
based on the evidence that I don't understand how a 19-pound bag of clothing can be worth $3,000.
Oh, trust me. This is not my first rodeo. I'm going there in a minute.
Okay.
But right now, I got to first start. There's two parts to every lawsuit.
Okay.
One is liability, and the other one is damages.
Sure.
I'm going to talk with them. I might have a thing or two to say to them about damages in a minute. But I first want to talk to you about liability.
So can I finish, Your Honor?
Do you hear me talking?
Yes.
You can finish when I ask you the next question. Okay. But it is never a good idea when a judge is in the middle of a sentence and say, "Can I finish?" That's just not good form. You have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. I am in the middle of a sentence. Just wait a second. Okay. So as to the issue of liability, I have to determine whether your store botched it. And then we'll determine what that botch is worth.
Sure.
Okay, let's first talk about liability. Your defense is a guy named Joey picked it up. And you are getting that from an employee who's not here, who I can't cross-examine, who you didn't get an affidavit from. And that's just not going to cut it. Okay. Where, by the way, though, when you're, as the owner, investigating what happened, did you talk to the person who greeted them at their attempted pickup?
There was only one employee that was involved in this laundry bag, taking the bag and then happened to have been there when the person came to pick it up. So, like I said...
you say that is not true. Who did the drop-off of the bag?
We both dropped it off on
Where's the bag? I got a very simple question. Where's the bag? Do you know where the bag is? The answer is some guy named Joey picked it up and it's not our fault.
Yes. No, Your Honor. That's not the answer.
What's the answer?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So is the defendant responsible for the plaintiff's laundry?
I think he is because he didn't show a ticket to pick up the laundry. So that's part of the policy.
Is a ticket a deal breaker?
No.
Does the laundry place have to ask for the ticket and get the ticket in order to protect itself?
Absolutely, yes. Because otherwise a situation like this might happen.
There you go. There are a lot of Joeys out there.
Exactly.
Right, going inside the courtroom.
The answer is the bag was picked up by a gentleman. I don't know where the gentleman went. I followed him on camera. I can only go so far around the perimeter of my laundry.
Wait, you got a camera?
I have surveillance, yes.
Can I see the picture of the guy who picked it up?
No, I can't.
Why?
I didn't bring it. I didn't think it was going to be significant of the person because it was just a gentleman. Neither of...
What if it's her ex-husband or somebody else or somebody that we can crack this case wide open? The whole case is about who picked up the laundry. Okay, but he didn't think it would be germane. Okay. I got it. I find you guys liable. Now, the next question, and I don't care how many signs you put up that says, tell me exactly what the sign says, because I love this part. Give me do you have a picture of the sign?
No, I don't.
What does it say?
I have signs around saying I'm not responsible for loss, damage, do your own risk. Everything that my insurance company told me to put
but you
up.
can contract away some negligence, but you can't contract away gross negligence. And losing the client's entire order is gross negligence. So that's not going to save you. Now let's talk about what you're suing for, because I am fascinated. I just want to be one of the girls in your house. Let's see. Cameron Boyfriend True Religion Jeans, $238. Levi Mini Boot, $188. Cassie Super Skinny, $198. Stella Embellished Jeans, $258. Nobody owns a pair of $30 jeans in your house? Every jean has to be $1,000 in jeans on the 4 jeans? Really?
Your Honor, I have my bank statement. Also, as far as the True Religion jeans, I want Jill to answer that because those are her jeans. Go ahead, Jill.
Go, I want to hear it.
I attend Stony Brook University and I live off campus. So because I live off campus, I receive a refund check of about $1,700.
To do what with?
Whatever.
Live off campus, right?
Yeah, basically.
Who gives you that check?
The school gives me that check.
Okay, so let me see. I just want to make sure I got it right. The state of New York, the taxpayers from the state of New York pay you a $1,700 stipend for you to live off campus to pay your housing. And when you get it, you spend $250 on jeans. Come on, man. Either way, let's assume that it's truthful that there's $1,000 in jeans in there. When did you buy those jeans?
I bought some in the fall and the spring previously.
You understand that there's a factor called depreciation, right? That a jean you bought a year ago isn't worth the same as a jean that you bought yesterday. You understand that, right? Because you've worn them. So your measure of damages would be the value at the time of the loss. That means if you held a garage sale, what could you sell them for? That's what that means, okay? Now, let's talk about all this other stuff that you're claiming for.
Okay, I have the bank statement here, which has the
And your laundry that day was everything that was new. Everything you just bought. That
because
was your
it's
laundry
back
that
to
day.
school.
There's not
That
a
is
single
correct.
thing that you have put on your body, or your daughter put on her body, or anybody else in your house had put on their body that was actually 6 months or a year old. Not a single thing.
Actually, there is. There's our underwears, our bras, our socks, which I'm not suing for, and pajamas.
Every bra you have is a $60 bra.
And I brought a bag full of my, I don't want the public to see it, but full of my underclothes, showing that even my 11-year-old wears pink underwears.
Pink as in the brand pink of Victoria's Secret.
The sister of Victoria's
So we got
Secret,
we have a higher class of underwear
and I have a bag
household.
full, Your Honor, to show
No wrong
you.
with that. Let me see. I do want to see the bag, actually.
And that's just remaining what's left of everything that's gone.
You brought me 1, 2, 3, 4 bras and a couple of underwear.
Right. The rest
Okay.
is in the laundromat.
Okay. The uniforms. Let's talk about that.
I got a letter from my daughter Jade's school, where I order the uniforms from.
Okay.
She goes to St. Athanasius Catholic School. And
Oh, okay. So this is actually what you had to pay to replace the uniforms.
That is correct.
Okay. That's $352.76.
That is correct.
Wow. That Catholic education does not come cheap, does it?
No, it does not.
I
And
feel
neither
your
does
pain.
Jillian's rent living off campus.
Say it again.
Neither does her rent living off campus.
Well,
I
then
pay
maybe
for
she
her
shouldn't
rent.
be spending that $1,700 on jeans. I'm serious.
These are the things she does. She's 20. She's gonna be 21 years old, and she takes her money and she does that. This girl comes home with tattoos also.
Oh God!
I don't condole it. I don't say take that money and do that.
Yes, but
Especially
no,
about
but
the
I do
tattoo.
help out with the family and stuff. So it's
Your stipend isn't for jeans. I don't know how to make myself any clearer. I don't want to pay for your jeans. I don't. They don't. You guys want to pay for our $238 jeans? Do any of you have $238 jeans on your heinies right now as you sit in this courtroom? Okay. End of discussion.
Thank you.
You're welcome. These cases are always difficult because I don't know what was in that bag. I'm not going to assume it was all rags, and I'm not going to assume it was all $238 jeans. And I have to depreciate. Okay. Was there ever an offer in this case? Just out of curiosity, did anybody ever try to negotiate this, or it was nasty from the beginning?
It was nasty from the beginning when I called him and he said that. He said, "How much do you even think you're going to get from me?"
Okay. Well,
I never said that.
All right. Did you ever tell her if you call the police, you won't get excrement? Because it kind of, I got to tell you, I've known you now for like 20 minutes. It kind of sounds like your style.
Okay, it's not.
No?
No.
Can I say something,
Yeah.
Your Honor? When I went back in on Tuesday, taking yet another day off, he tells me I gave the tape to the police. The precinct
Did you
is
give
right
the
up
tape
the
to the
block.
police?
I didn't give the tape to the police, nor did I tell her that I gave the tape to police.
He said I gave the tape to the police.
Did you ever offer for her to see the tape?
No.
Ma'am, can I finish?
I'm not gonna go
This
away with me.
is ridiculous. She's like making things
But
up now.
if you don't let her see the tape and you don't let me see the tape, what's the point of the tape? I know.
For me to
the
see.
answer is there's nobody taking
There's
your
nobody
laundry. They
taking
lost
the
your laundry.
I can bet his employee Esperanza is wearing my Victoria's Secret all up and down her house right now.
I have no idea if that's accurate or not accurate, okay? Oh, wait, there was one thing I wanted to ask you that you said in your answer to the complaint. You said that she had been banned by the previous owner?
Again, this is not, I don't have detailed information on this.
Who told you that she had been banned by somebody told you that?
Yes, oh yeah. For
Did
what,
they-
I don't remember specifics.
Were you banned by the previous owner?
Absolutely not, Your Honor. I stopped going because I was getting laundry that didn't pertain to me.
Okay,
And
maybe
so
that's what they meant.
I just
I
went
did
to the
20,000
one
pounds
that's
of
right
clothes.
next
She's the
door.
only one that has a problem.
And if I...
What are you suggesting? That if you do
I'm
20,000...
suggesting that this entire thing was a setup to begin with. That's what I'm suggesting. That's what I told.
And if you had the slightest bit of evidence to support what you were saying, I could fly with it.
Okay.
If you have a video of somebody picking up her bag and you don't think that's important to bring to Judge Milian, you clearly don't watch the People's Court. Because if you had, you would know that I was not going to let you slide on that.
Okay.
That I cannot have a litigant come into court and say, I swear someone else picked her laundry. I've got a video of it. Oh, but I didn't bring it. I swear somebody else picked her laundry. I got a witness who can testify to it, but I didn't bring her. Seriously?
I'm serious.
My verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000.
Judge Milian rules that the defendant is at fault. And so your feeling on that?
I'm fine with the decision. The $3,000 that I was originally being sued for was ridiculous. I can take a loss. I can't win everything.
So you're responsible, right? You admit responsibility. It was just the amount. You think you were being sued for too much. That's all.
I think it was a scam to begin with. I'll take responsibility. That's all I have to say.
What's the point of coming into court and testifying that I didn't bring my evidence? That kind of testimony is that?
The outcome of this case isn't really a big concern of mine, to be honest with you. Thank you.
Satisfied how this comes out?
I don't think we should have got just $1,000, but if anything, I'm actually happy that either way he lost because he's a jack. And that's about it. That's all I have to say. I'm happy. Other than just the fact that I won, I'm happy.
Harvey?
You know, a lot of people wonder about these liability limitations in these contracts. The fact is, unless there's gross negligence, really extreme, these liability limitations are enforceable. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.